Welcome back to the Avernus Biker Lifestyle channel. I'm Dave Keefe, and today we're getting on with some much needed bike maintenance. I got this new Bandit just over a couple of weeks ago now, and not massively had a lot of a chance to have a look at it just yet. The one job that is absolutely pressing though, that came to light when I took the wife out on the ride to Southport, the video you might have seen, I'll link that above, is that it's desperately needing some rear brake pads. So today I'm going to take you through fitting rear brake pads to a 1998 Bandit 1200. Okay, tools we're going to be using today for this job: 12mm Allen socket. Obviously if you don't have a socket set, then if you have a long handled Allen key, that'll just do the job just as well. You'll need the extra length on the socket for the torque, because some of these bolts can be a bit of a bugger to get open. The 12mm socket, extender bar for your socket wrench obviously, a decent size flathead screwdriver, and obviously your brake pads are going to be fitting. I prefer ABC, it's just a matter of preference. There are equally good brands out there, but these I've always used these and they've always stood me in good stead. And just as an extra matter of preference, I always like to stick a bit of copper grease on my bolts as I'm fitting them, just to make life easier next time when I come to do the job again. So on all Bandits you've got a brace bar just here for the rear brake caliper. So first off we're going to be loosening that bolt. Remove the bolt completely and the brace arm will just drop down. Onto the bolts for the caliper itself. And this is the reason you use copper grease. Once both caliper bolts are out, the caliper will just fall away, revealing the brake pads inside the caliper, and they look absolutely knackered. It isn't always the case with these bikes, but on top of the caliper, or the bottom as it sits, you see a plastic cover, so you surprise that away using your screwdriver. Inside there you'll see your springs for the caliper, so it tease the springs out. This can take some doing if they've been in for a while. And just inside the body of the brake caliper you'll see the two pins that hold the brake pads in place. These can be an absolute nightmare for seizing, so a little bit more attention is going to be needed, and that's what I'm going to do now, because these are seized in solid. So we're back in the garage for round two of sorting this caliper out. Parts have come, let's get to it. As you can see in there is the offending article. That's the pin that won't come out. The other one came out with not too much of a struggle. So these are blank holes, only holes on one side of the caliper. So on the other side, what I've done, rather messily, is drilled a guide hole and managed to knock that pin out from that side. So I won't have that problem again. But this side, it's just not for happening. It's not for bolt. I've had you can see there where I've kind of chewed through the pin a little bit, trying to get it out. So the idea is, with this highly technical tool, I'm going to get the bugger out. I know a lot of you will be saying, why not just split the caliper, replace the seals where you're at it, but quite frankly, I want to get on my bike today, and unless it's absolutely necessary, I don't want to be splitting this caliper. As you can see, those brake pads, pretty shot. Fortunately, it's only one side of the pin that's seized. The other side came out quite easily. So both sides of that pad, especially that one, completely goosed. Put them side by side. New ones and old ones. You can see how long those buggers have been on. So here we go. Another self-fashioned tool to get the other side of the pin out, which is in solid. Just an old screwdriver. I'm going to tap it out. Hopefully it won't put up too much of a fight. Fantastic. Therein lies the problem. Okie dokie. Not actually familiar with this brand, handler. Sure, they're pretty good stainless pins anyway, so that's all they need to be. And I sourced these just on eBay. I think they're about £3 or something like that. One thing I was going to show you, which I now can't because I've chucked the pin. To hold the pins in place while they're in, you have a pin that goes between them, a little spring clip. But on the other pin that was jammed in, this had actually corroded so badly that the tip snapped off. It's seating in that little hole, and it's the tiniest bit of the pin was just showing through. So no amount of knocking or pulling was going to get this pin out of that hole, because obviously a little sticky upper bit was stopping it coming out. So we're basically putting everything back as it was, obviously with the new pins. This is where a big screwdriver comes in handy if you need to move the pistons out slightly. So you use a big screwdriver so you can prise apart the brake pads and get them over the brake disc. A little bit of copper grease on the bolt. Just make life a bit easier if next time I need to take them out. Let's put the caliper brace back in. Locking that on the back. There we are, caliper securely back on. Now to just reattach the brake line and bleed the brakes. So now I've reconnected the caliper and the brake line, just need to bleed the brakes. I've refilled the brake fluid reservoir. So I've attached a brake bleed hose to the brake bleed nipple, and the opposite end of the hose I've put in a bit of old brake fluid. The idea behind that is, once you're bleeding the air through the brake line, if the opposite end of the brake bleed hose isn't in brake fluid, then you're just going to be sucking air back in, so it just makes life a bit easier. So once you're happy that it stopped chucking air out, tighten the nipple back up and just pump the brake up. So you can feel it getting stiff again, and that should do the trick. Obviously once you pump the brakes back up and the pads have held onto the disc, make sure you top up your brake fluid reservoir, and if necessary repeat the process until you've got no play or very little play in your rear brake lever. As promised, I said I'd tell you what the next job on the tick list is. As you probably noticed in the video, these back wheels are in absolutely minging order. If you're ever considering polishing your wheels, I'd advise against it personally, particularly if your bikes have to live outside, if you don't have the use of a garage or a shed, because if you leave polished wheels over time, very quickly they end up looking like this. So the next job on the tick list, guys, is stripping the wheels off, stripping the wheels down, and getting them off to the powder coaters. I'm thinking a black satin. See, the front wheel is in just equally as crap state. This video is probably about a week longer than it needed to be, obviously because of the C's brake pins, but all back together now. Brakes are bled, and now just to get out on it. Like I say, I don't pretend to be a mechanic, I'm just a guy who likes working on his own bikes. If you found this video helpful, do me a big favour, give it a thumbs up so everybody can we can spread the love. If you're not already subscribed, consider clicking the subscribe button, and see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.